Hello everyone and welcome to the Man United Agenda. This is the player ratings. Hello everyone, welcome back to Man United Agenda. Please hit the like and subscribe button. We are close now to 1k subscribers, and once we do hit that, we will be giving away a free Bruno Fernandes shirt. With me today, I've got Talk. How are you today, Talk?
Yeah, good. I'm all good, mate. It was a great day yesterday. Great day. Great game.
Yes, it was a great game. Very good, thank you very much. It was a great game. I really enjoyed the game. I can see there's two people already in the chat. We've got Solo here. Hi, Solo. Yeah, I hope you're well. As he said, go and hit that subscribe button. And we've got Rich from Eagle Eye Football. Hello to you too, Rich. I hope you're well. So, Talk, how did you find the game from yesterday?
Massive improvement. That's the first thing I'm going to say. To be fair, I think it was a better defensive display than it was an offensive display. There's no two ways about that. And did I ask you that question the night before, or was it? I don't think it might have been Melina and Luca. And I asked somebody else. I said, "What do you think Rangnick's approach is he going to take in this game? Is he going to be looking at from a defensive approach or from an offensive approach?" So I think, like I say, for me, it looked more like it was, a better defensive display than anything else. But there are lots of other things that we can talk about during this as we get through the players, etc.
Yeah, so we'll go with the player ratings. We'll start with our number one goalkeeper, David De Gea. He played a full 90 minutes, 2 shots on target against him, and a save percentage of 100%. What did you think of De Gea's performance, Talk?
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, he had a couple of saves, I believe, didn't he? If I can remember correctly. And yeah, I mean, listen, we limited. Like I said, because of our defensive display being better than offensive, we pretty much limited. They had a couple of good chances. They created some decent chances actually, which usually Palace you would expect them to score or have a better attempt, but they just didn't manage it. But again, that was because of the way we'd set up, and we sort of kept them quiet on that department. But David De Gea, he did okay. It wasn't a standout game or anything like that. So I'll go for a 7. I think that's fair.
Yeah, for me, I think David De Gea did do well. He obviously kept that clean sheet, but he didn't have too much to do in the game for me. So I couldn't give him too much of a high rating because he didn't have too much to do. And for that reason, I'll probably just give him a 6. It's been amazing that we had our clean sheet. I think it's our second clean sheet of the season now. So it's good that we managed that clean sheet, but he just didn't simply have too much to do because the players were pressing well enough to make sure that the ball wasn't going near De Gea at many points.
Yeah, this is the thing. I mean, like OMONDI says there in the chat, Rangnick demanding that we keep the ball away from him as much as possible, which we want to see. But there were times in the game where we did sort of start reverting back to type, and I suppose you can't expect that to be eradicated in just one 45-minute training session. I mean, it's crazy, but I'm sure we will see a big improvement on that in the coming games and weeks.
Yeah, there's a few more people here in the chat as well. We've got Rebel, we've got OMONDI, got Brush in the chat,
Brush.
Got Fox's Focus, and to Eagle Eye Football, TMUA means the Man United Agenda. We'll go on to our next player, which is Darlow. With Darlow, he played a full 90 minutes, a passing success of 88.40%, 3 tackles, 1, and he had 1 total shot. For me, I think knowing that Wan-Bissaka has had a lot of games for Darlow, it is going to be very difficult for him to get into the game. I know he played a full 90 for Arsenal. He played against Villarreal nearer to the start of the season, so he hasn't had that much game time. But I think he was absolutely brilliant for me. I think going forward, he was great. He was doing well in terms of his defending. I think he can improve in that defensive side, and I think he will do that under Rangnick. So it's going to be very interesting to see on how he does improve. But if he carries on the way he is playing, I think Wan-Bissaka is going to struggle to get his starting 11 spot. For me, I'm going to give Darlow a 7 because I was very impressed with Darlow. What would you give Darlow, Talk?
Yeah, I was very impressed with him as well, to be honest with you. I know in previous games he's had a bit of a nightmare, but in this game, wow, yeah, he was really on it. And he had he had seven tackles, 6 aerial duels, and his interceptions, 11 interceptions on the pass, and he's getting high up the pitch, and giving them a problem in terms of how they could escape our press. So, closing doors and yeah, it was a great 64 successful dribbles as well, and 26 one-touch passes from the stats. So, you know what? I think I agree with you there. From Aaron Wan-Bissaka's point of view, he's going to have to start looking in training now to sort of, emulate what Diogo Dalot is doing in a more of an offensive role. So, yeah, I mean, I'll have to agree with you. I'll give him a 7. I think that's about right.
Amonde's touched on saying Dallow was such a revelation under Ralph's system, which is designed for attacking. And Brush has mentioned it was so good to see Dallow. Real chance now for him to show us what he can do. I couldn't say it better myself, to be honest. It is good to see what we can see of Dallow, and it'll be interesting in the next so many games what Dallow is capable of as well. So I'll bring on to our next player, which is Lindelof. Lindelof played a full 90 minutes, a passing success of 86%. He won 3 aerials and he had 1 yellow card. What did you think about Lindelof's performance, Talk?
Yeah, I mean, it was okay. I mean, like I say, for the whole defensive unit as a unit worked well, and then that's what we need is for them to work well as a unit, being in good positions and anticipating and closing down. And yeah, like you see the stats there, 86% passing success. I mean, I think he did one really long pass, which I remember, which sticks out in my mind, which was cracking. You're like, well, where's this come from? But the yellow card, I mean, he had to take it though, didn't he? He had to, I can't remember what stage of the game that was at, but he had to take the yellow card, I remember, and then winning 3 aerial duels. I mean, yeah, I mean, those stats tell you, don't they, how much we kept them contained and limited their opportunities to getting into our half. So, yeah, I'll give him a 7. I think I'll give him a 7 as well. I think it's only fair.
I think with Lindelof, I think he controlled the game really well. I think him and Maguire, I know a lot of people have been critical about him, but I think they both really worked well together in the game. I think they did keep Crystal Palace pretty quiet because you can see some real good players in Crystal Palace. You've got Zaha, you've got Benteke, he's good as well. You've got also Conor Gallagher, who's having an amazing season so far. So to keep these names quiet, it just shows that they have controlled the ball very well. And I think he didn't make too many mistakes, and I didn't really see that side of him where he was weak on his one-on-ones neither. So for me, I probably give Lindelof a 7 as well. I think it was brilliant. Next player we'll go to now is Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire played a full 90 minutes. Aerials won 2. Passing success of 87.30% and 3 clearances. What did you think of Maguire, Talk?
I thought it was a great game from Maguire, to be honest with you. Really commanding performance, I think. He was also carrying the ball forward as well. He's not afraid to carry the ball forward. Again, put it all together as a defensive unit. It was a really good performance. So on that note, I'll have to give him a 7 alongside Lindelof. Really, can't really sort of give him anything more than that. What do you say?
I think with Harry Maguire, I think this has been his best game so far this season. I think there has been a lot of games where it feels like his confidence has dropped a little bit, but it just felt like in this game he was absolutely brilliant. Like, he did go forward and he did defend where it was needed to be necessary. I remember that particular time where he did stop that counter attack, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant, and his clearances, his tackles were absolutely brilliant for me. So I'm going to give Harry Maguire a 7. I think he was absolutely great in the game. Next one I'll go for now is Telles. Telles played a full 90 minutes, a passing success of 78.10%, 2 total shots, and 7 tackles won. I was very impressed also with Telles' game. I think Telles, he was brilliant. We all know Telles is absolutely brilliant in his set pieces, his corners. But his defensive side, I feel like this game has been his best game he has played defensively as well. And I think he has definitely improved. I know he's only had like one training session on the Ralph so far, but I think if he continues getting this game time, his defensive play is going to get as good as his attacking play, and I can see him developing a lot more as a left back. I think right now, the way he is playing, is going to be very difficult for Luke Shaw to get back into that starting 11 game, because I think Telles has just been overall so brilliant. For me, I'm going to give Telles an 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that about the Luke Shaw thing, because that's what we need. You know, we need players wanting to perform week in, week out in training, day in, day out, in training. And then when they do get their opportunity, you know, they're ready to show what they've got and what they bring to the team. But yeah, listen, it was a good show from Alex Telles. I have to agree with what Monday says as well about he was, you know, staying wide, stretching it.
Yes.
You know, stretching the pitch, and that really helps us as well. You know, but yeah, going forward, we know he's got a decent left foot on him, and his corners and free kicks. If he takes free kicks as well, you know, especially when they're further away from the goal and they've got a, you know, nice flight on to swing them in from that angle. Yeah, it's all good. And I do like him. He's got. I think I don't know. I think he excites me more than Luke Shaw does. I don't know why. It's maybe because we've not seen a lot of Telles and it is new, relatively new to us. You know, maybe that's why. But I do like him, and like I say, it can only get better. You know, they can only get better because as the training sessions go on and on, it's definitely going to improve. But I'm going to stick with a 7. I'm going to stick 7.
We've got Jackie here. Good evening to you too, Jackie. I hope you're well. Got Fox's focus. Maguire turning up. Fred's actually playing like a Brazilian. He is live all gravy at United right now. Eli football. We didn't offer much. Your centre backs had it easy, and the passing success rate, that's pretty decent. So everything is all good so far, and I can see.
I'll just go with what Eagle Eyed Football has said there. We didn't offer much. Your centre backs had it easy. Well, that's only because of the way we set up. You go back and watch our positional play and our shape. Look how much we concentrated on our shape and keeping it, I say compact, but was always an avenue. There was always an option. There's always an option for us, and that's key to sustaining attacks and keeping teams penned in. So, you know, listen, you can't take that away from us that you know, by saying that, you know, it didn't offer much. The reason why it didn't offer much, mate, was because we kept you quiet, you know. So, and there's another stat as well, which is we won possession in the final third the most times this season.
It's brilliant.
So
absolutely brilliant.
You know, I mean, it's instant gratification, isn't it, from Ranić? I mean, some of the other stats, 61% possession, 14 chances created, 12 possessions won in the final third, and no goals conceded. So listen, all that boils down to really, really great performance, and yeah, like I say, keeping them quiet, which was the aim, which will be the aim going forward.
We've got Vibes FC here. Hello to you. Thank you for tuning in. And
Vibes.
We've got Bath Time with Vaughn. Hello to you
Vaughn.
too there, Bath Time. And Medi is here. Hello there, Medi. I hope you're well. We've only done our 5 players so far, which is the goalkeeper and our 4 defenders. So we're going to be moving on to our midfielders now. So we'll start with our first midfielder, which is Fred. And all I can say is, wow, what a brilliant game from Fred. Played a full 90 minutes, passing success of 83.30%. He won 7 tackles and he scored 1 goal. When I was looking at it, Fred had roughly around 2 total shots. I think he had that, especially in the second half. I felt like his defending was so good, how he was shutting down a lot of the players. And he actually did take them chances where he could in terms of actually shooting. And that goal, what he scored, was an absolute wonder ball. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant from Fred. For me, I'm going to give Fred a 9. I think he was absolutely amazing, and he was my man of the match all day, every day. What about you for Fred talk?
Yeah, listen, it was... and he has been getting, over the last 4 games or so, 4 or 5 games, he's been getting better and better and better. And like you say, closing the play down, be like a Yorkshire Terrier, you know what I mean? Sniffing out danger, reading the game well as well. And the goal, look, we have to give Diogo credit for that, because he did carry the ball well. And then the little layoff he played into Greenwood, who again played his part by controlling it, because it was quite a heavy pass in to him, right into the box, and then Mason had the nous to be able to slow that ball up, take a look and see Fred's position, and just the beautiful little layoff. Like, I know it's going to sound crazy, but it just reminded me like the pass that Pele played in the World Cup for, Omondi, I'll know who the player is. What's his name? I think it begins with a Z. Is it Zico? Someone. Anyway,
Eze.
It's just a beautiful little pass, little pass, perfectly weighted, no panic, and then Fred just absolutely correct. He wrapped his foot around it and tickled it on the way as it left his foot. You know what I mean? And you just watched him, and do you know what? The moment it left his foot, I was like, I was almost there already. That's it, Carlos Alberto on Monday. I was already like, what? Wow, it was a beautiful, beautiful goal. And so, yeah, Fred, I'll go with you on that one, mate. I'm going to give him a 9 just because of his work rate. Listen, I know people will talk about making mistakes, but you know what? Listen, players make mistakes in games. Even in most teams, players will make a mistake here or there. But it was a beautiful display from Fred.
And just like Monday said as well, a different contrasting scores compared to the Watford game as well. So absolutely loving these player ratings so far. And just as Fox's Focus and Anthony have both said, we've got Aston Villa in the 3rd round of the FA Cup too. So that's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting.
Well, I'll say it right now. Listen, yeah, good luck, Stephen. Good luck, mate. Because no, it's not happening. Listen, Ralph. While it's been brought up, we'll quickly discuss it quickly. This is an opportunity. We fluffed it absolutely, like, pathetically in the cup, the Carling Cup. I remember against West Ham, was it?
Yes, West Ham.
We were absolutely crap. Now this is an opportunity for a trophy, and for me, there's no way Ralph's going to let that pass, cheaply. So you know what? For me, that is going to be a strong lineup, and by that, when that game comes around, we'll be even more on it and at it. And no, I can't see Villa living with us. Just can't. So I'm pleased about
that. So we'll go on to our next player now, which is McTominay. McTominay played a full 90 minutes, passing success of 74.30%. 2 accurate long balls and 1 yellow card. What was your take on McTominay in the game talk?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of improvement needs to come from McTominay. There's no two ways about it. I mean, his stature, physique is all well and good, but you have to have more about you than being able to just sort of put yourself about a bit. But he tends to kind of, I don't know. It's like at the start, early in games. I've noticed with early in games, he'll be more wanting to be like play safe, but as the game goes on, out of nowhere, he'll take an opportunity if he sees space in front of him. But even when he does, he's not got the skill set to be able to do it like properly because he'll lose the ball. He'll overrun it, or a heavy touch, and it'll get away from him. Then he's stretching to try and get it back. Then somebody sneaks in and gets it off him. I just think he's going to have to really up his game if he wants to stay in Ranić's plans going forward, I believe. So I don't want to be too hard on him, but I'll give him a 4. Sorry.
With McTominay, you can see the kind of qualities McTominay does have as a player, but it just feels like at times for me with McTominay that, as OMONDI said, he does lack a little bit of that quality for me, and there's too many sideward passing, too many backward passing, because I still notice a lot of sideward and backward passing in the game against Crystal Palace as well. And when you're wanting to go forward and then your player plays backwards, you're just stalling the game all over again, and we can't afford to have too many backward sideward passing. But when you do look at it, I think him and Fred actually worked really well together as well for Crystal Palace. But I just feel like Fred was definitely the better player than McTominay. For me, with McTominay, I'm going to give him a 5. He was just bang average for me.
Yeah.
So we'll go now on to our next player, which is Sancho. Sancho played a total of 62 minutes, passing success of 75%, 1 total shot and 2 successful dribbles. What did you think about Sancho, Talk?
Yeah, I thought he was great. I mean, we know what he's all about, Sancho. He offers so much. He plays. He can play the number 10. He play on the wing. He's going to bring a lot to this party under Ranić. He's going to be heavily involved, in my opinion. He was great, and like I say, the 4-2-2-2, because that's what it was, even though it was down as a 4-2-3-1. It worked really well. Them two being up top, it was, they're there to cause a problem on the back line. That's what we know that they're there to do, and I thought they did that well. I thought they were a constant threat up there, up at the top there. So yeah, I'm going to give him a 7. I think I'll give him a 7. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that 7 with Sancho. I think he's been absolutely brilliant, and what I really liked about Sancho is come a lot more confident in the game. It just feels like the Man United shirt isn't as heavy on him anymore. It just feels like he is really comfortable in what he's doing. He seems a lot more livelier and comfortable in that right hand side, with Rashford on the left. He's been absolutely brilliant, and he was very, very intelligent on the ball as well. There wasn't that much out of play where I could say anything negative about Sancho. I think he just overall done an absolute brilliant job, and I think a 7 has been absolutely fair for Sancho.
Yeah, I mean, that's where with Sancho, that's where you want that kind of, because he has got the brain to be able to work the space and create space as well, and provide a little diamonds, between 3 players. So there's always an option to sustain the attacks. That's for me with Sancho. He's got that, loads of that in his locker, or should I say, as Solo would say, in his cabinet.
We'll go now on to our next player, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno played a total of 86 minutes, passing success of 77.80%, 3 total shots and 5 accurate long balls. I could see with Bruno, he was trying to get them couple of chances. He had obviously a couple of free kicks as well. I think with Bruno, he didn't have a step too wrong for me. I think he played very well. He was calm on the ball. I didn't see a frustrated Bruno Fernandes neither. So I was really impressed with how Bruno was, and he was getting forward. He was taking the opportunity. I think there would have been them odd times for me with Bruno where he did take a shot, and I thought he could have passed it instead. But obviously at that time, Bruno thought that was the best thing for him going forward. He was getting the ball into the box a couple of times. One noticeably for me was one with Rashford. I thought that was a very good ball in the box. So I'm going to give Bruno a 7. I think he played very well. What would you go for with Bruno?
Yeah, I mean, I'll go with a 7 as well. But yeah, listen, again, when you talk about important players, you know, in the midfield and making it possible for us to control. Again, we talked before Ralph turned up. We were talking about the lack of control in the midfield area, because if you haven't got any control in the midfield, you ain't got no control anywhere. So, you know, but Bruno's like the you know, he's the key, he's the golden key to unlocking that space right in front, you know, right in front of the defense. Just because you've got whoever your strikers are, he's the one who's going to be the one to unlock the space to feed, you know, get himself in positions, you know, help whoever is going to be playing alongside him control the tempo. If they're blocking us out and they're not falling for our wide players, and they're, you know, you're putting balls wide and you're putting balls across and they're dealing with it, he's the kind of player that will then unlock it. He'll pick the lock, you know, but he's got to have the support there, you know, to be able to do that. But I mean, yeah, we know what Bruno's all about. He's a fabulous player, and his stats there, having 3 shots at goal. I mean, yeah, not the best shots in the world, but you know what? It's still, like you say, he gets himself into a position where he thinks, you know what, I'm going to have a pop here. You know what, and why not? Because it's all right us saying, oh, you know, why are you shooting? But if they do go in, you know, then it's great, isn't it? So yeah, so Bruno is going to be very important.
We'll go now on to our next player, Marcus Rashford. Rashford played a total of 76 minutes, a passing success of 95.80%, 1 successful dribble and 3 key passes. It just felt like, for me, I didn't see too much of Marcus Rashford in the game. It just felt like when you've seen how well Sancho was doing, Ronaldo was doing, Fernandes was doing, he was very quiet compared to everybody else. I didn't see much of him doing any long balls, or I didn't see him doing many crosses in. I just didn't see too much of Marcus Rashford at all, and I do wonder, is he still carrying a little bit of an injury? Was he rushed a bit too back in? But right now, for me, I just feel like Marcus Rashford is better as a impactful sub, because we know how impactful he is as a sub. Like when we seen him coming on for Villarreal with Bruno Fernandes, he was absolutely electric then. So I do wonder, is he better off playing as a sub right now? So for me, I'm going to give Marcus Rashford a 5, because he just didn't do too much for me in the game whatsoever, and it just felt like he was a bit quiet. What would you go for with Rashford talk?
Yeah, I mean, I know what you're saying. You want to see more from Rashford, but you know, we know what he can do. Is you put him near the goal and he will score. You know, he's got that. He has got that to his game, and he can obviously play out on the wide as well. But yeah, it's a strange one with Rashford, because he's been kind of, his standards has dropped on this since he had his surgery and everything after the Euros. I just think it's going to take a little bit of time, I think, for him to get back to what we know exactly Marcus can bring to the game. But I mean, you know, being up top with Cristiano Ronaldo, I would have thought that he would have had a little bit more. He was kind of turning almost into, rather than being one of the two, he was becoming more of a winger. He was more leaning into the left again, you know, going a bit wider. But obviously that's because he was coming in, he was dropping back to get the ball to make, you know, or to create spaces. And then when he's going back, his natural instinct, because like we always said, he's more of a winger than he is a striker, then he's always going to have that sort of, you know, he's always going to want to go to the left hand side. But listen, I think under this manager as well, like I say, for me, Rashford, he will come good for us, and he's definitely going to be important in the team. No two ways about it.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of a score, I don't know. I think I'm going to give him a 7. Is that fair?
Fair enough. And Jackie said, I am worried about Rashford. I wonder if he's carrying an injury. He's not himself. Would you reckon he's carrying an injury, or do you just feel like he's just trying to get back into the game? Because I feel like for me, he's trying to get back into the game, and knowing how he was under Ollie and then he's coming on to Ragnick, I just think right now he's better off as a substitute at this moment in time, because I feel like I've seen a lot better of Marcus Rashford as a substitute than a starting 11 player. We've seen Martial when he started against Everton. He was very good in that left-hand side. We've got Alanga who could play on the left as well.
Yeah, I don't think he's carrying an injury. I think he's we don't know what the surgery was that he had. We don't know what's going on in his personal life and all the blah blah blahs. But like I say, you have to remember that he's more of a left-sided sort of midfielder, so to speak. Than an out-and-out striker. So, like I say, I think he just needs a bit of time to adjust, and he's going to need time to adjust to this. If we're going to continually play this system 4-2-2-2, then he's going to need time to be able to discipline himself not to drift into areas where he doesn't really need to be drifting into. You know what I mean? So he needs to stay closer to Cristiano if they're going to really cause a problem. And have whoever's defense, worried. I mean, yeah, they can drift apart a little bit, but you don't want to make it easy for the defense to just being able to hold their line. You've got to ask them questions and make them come out with answers. Especially if, like I said before, you've got Telles, Darlow, or whoever getting high up, causing their fullbacks a problem. Where they go, yeah, what do we do here? Are we going to go with them? Because if they do, then there's huge gaps. That's when then you likes of Rashford and Ronaldo can exploit that space because of their pace, short burst pace. So, but listen, no, I think he'll come good for us, Marcus. So I've got 100% faith in him.
On Monday, I said about Rashford playing as a 9 will force defensive lines back with his pace. With time, he will be very effective in this system. Back time things, I think after results, missing that penalty and a bad injury, we may have a bit of patience with him, and he's lost his confidence. And Mehdi did mention he is carrying an injury. He has had a shoulder and knee requiring an operation. He's operated on one of them, but not too sure which one. So he's still, and the other one looks like it is going to be next summer.
Yeah, but I can't imagine it being. If it was an injury that was big of concern, is it going to gradually get worse? There's no way he would be playing. He just wouldn't do that. You're not going to do that with such a young kid like them with the talent that he's got. So I think it's probably something that look, in the long term needs looking at. But I mean, I don't think it's anything that's going to really stop him from producing and playing his game. Maybe I agree with maybe the confidence side of things. That might be a little issue, but that's about it.
I can see that Andrew Williams is also in the chat. So hello to you too, Andrew. I hope you're well, and thank you for popping your player ratings in the chat.
Yeah, big up, Andrew.
We'll go with our final starting 11 player, which is Cristiano Ronaldo. He played a total of 90 minutes, a passing success of 70.30%. He had 5 total shots and 3 aerials won. What did you think about Ronaldo's performance, Talk?
Yeah, I mean, look, he kind of put everybody to shame who said it's all about, Ronaldo's the problem and he can't do this and he can't do that and he's too old for this and too old for that nonsense. Just watch that game, man. He was all over the shop. He was, and total 5 shots. I mean, some of them weren't the greatest of shots. I think he shanked a couple and didn't quite make the right connection. But yeah, I think that all comes as well from the enthusiasm that's generated by the coach. And the excitement about where this is now going to be going and what he's now going to be part of. You can see he was just so full of energy and enthusiasm. And he's again, just like Marcus Rashford, he's going to be so important in whatever remaining time he's got at the club for Cristiano. That is, he's going to be he's going to be huge in this season, especially now going forward. If we are, as some people say, we are now still in a title challenge, which I'm not too sure about, he's going to be key to that if we are to be successful in getting, let's say, challenging for the title, I'll say that, and then also getting the top 4, maybe top 3, and winning a trophy, because don't forget, we're still in 2 competitions, and his competition is the Champions League. So that excites me massively with this system.
For me, with Cristiano, I watched him and I thought, I've never seen Cristiano press at his time at Manchester United, and I've seen him pressing, especially in the first half, and I was like, wow, Ragnick definitely does have something about him if he's got Cristiano Ronaldo to do pressing, which we never really see of Ronaldo. We know that's not something what Ronaldo does tend to do. He had done a couple of shots as well. I think Ronaldo, he did have a really good game. It was just a shame he didn't get that goal or assist like we do normally see about Ronaldo. But his overall game on the ball and even off the ball, he was very good. He was like how you would say, just very good. He was all over the place, worked extremely hard. I couldn't fault Cristiano at all, and for that reason, I'm going to give Cristiano a 7.
Yeah, I agree.
So I can see here as well that Talk MUFC is in the chat as well. Hello to you. I hope you're well. Brusher said it shows the drive and determination of the man. And Battime said everyone faded second half except for Fred. He still provided a focal point for the attack, and what he did, we asked him to do what he wanted, what we could do. So I think overall Manchester United played extremely well in this game, and I'm really looking forward to the upcoming game at the weekend, which is.
Look, I don't want to get. Listen, we're all pleased we won. It was like I said at the start of the stream. It was a much better defensively play than offensive. There are still, a
lot to do.
There's still a lot to do in that attacking part of our game. Now, listen, we talked about when we were watching the game. We know what was going on with the banks of 2. The way it was working out. It's now a case of right now that once they start to understand that what the objective is of that, we then need to start looking at what I was talking about before about using because if you look back at the game and watch us, you see all the little triangles in the spaces. Now that's where, again, if you're getting closed down and you're getting dragged into areas, or you're drifting into areas because of press that you don't want to be in, you've got an option to go, you know what? No, you ain't going to push me right back out, right to the side or backwards. I'm just going to lay this off because there's somebody else there. As you laid it off, you drift where the ball goes, because inevitably that's where the space is, right? So you drift. Then whoever's received the ball, if it's a safe pass on, they play it forward again. But if it's not a safe pass on, then it will have to go sideways, But you do not want to see it going back. And like I said, when you see us starting to revert to type going back, remember on the watch along saying, "Oh, no, don't do it." But again, that's going to take time for us to ease that out of our game, being confident enough to go, no, you ain't pushing us right back here, for the reasons that I've just said, because we will have players in really good shape and in good positions, just drifting into spaces. And if they're getting followed, so what? You keep moving. One touching, lay it off, as Monday says, pop, 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 pop it off, bam, bam, bam. And we will control games and our teams just, when we go to play them, no, they won't be trying to put anything to us. They will just simply be trying to counter-attack us.
Yeah, couldn't say it better myself, and I can see a lot of people in the comments as well. I'm looking forward to a Cavani and Fred partnership, and that is going to be extremely interesting too. I just want to say a big shout out to everyone who is in the live chat. Thank you so much for tuning in, saying your comments, giving us a player rating of your opinion. Please, everyone, hit the likes and subscribe button. We are now very close to that 1K subscribers. And if you do go and subscribe, you are at a chance of winning a free Bruno Fernandes shirt. Thank you very much to TalkMU. Thank you for coming on, helping with these player ratings. Means so much. And we are back at 8 p.m. for our usual Monday show, and that is going to be absolutely amazing. So go over to us again at 8 o'clock, and catch us there for the Monday night show, what is always on at 8 o'clock. Thank you all very much, and I'll see you all soon. Goodbye for now.
Ciao.